Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton News Daily. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball's app makes it easier to find the latest news, scores and stats all in the same place. To download the OneFootball app, click the link in the description. And to be fair, there isn't that much news about at the moment. This is the quiet bit, isn't it? I think, all the players, all the staff, they've gone away after the season's finished. They've all gone on holiday at every club, so there's not much happening anywhere, to be honest. Few people have gone away on international duty. Obviously, Michael Keane has been sharing pictures at St George's Park. Richarlison is obviously with Brazil at the moment, so there's a little bit of that going on, but there's not a massive amount of news. Hopefully, we get a bit more in the next couple of weeks. Everton are set for a financial boost, though, if Romelu Lukaku joins Inter Milan. Antonio Conte is yet set to be announced as the new Inter Milan coach and wants Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku has mentioned previously he'd like to play in Italy, so if he was to leave Manchester United, which there's a good chance because he is seen as one of those players who could be shown the door by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that would net Everton £5 million as part of the agreement which saw the player leave 2 summers ago, was it now? So yeah, that'd be a nice little tidy little boost just to the kitty, and obviously Everton put that into the contract. I think it was whether he moved or whether he signed a new contract this summer, they would get £5 million. So if that happens, if Manchester United decide to sell him, I think it's got to happen by the 30th of June. So knowing us, he'll sign on the 1st of July. We'll have to wait and see. Thomas Meunier, a name that has been mentioned so many times in the last 6 months, a player that we were linked heavily with in the January transfer window, PSG right back. Apparently, a proposal has been sent to the player by Everton. Has it or hasn't it? I don't know, but apparently it has. But Atletico Madrid are also shown interest for the player. Atletico Madrid, who are going to lose a number of their top players this summer, would like to buy the right back. So he's someone who has been muted before. I've never sort of quite seen the link. He doesn't quite fit in with Seamus Coleman being 30. I think Meunier's 27. So if you got another year out of Seamus Coleman, then you'd have a player who's only going to come into the first team 28. How long have you got left with him? Only a couple of years. It doesn't quite fit with me, that one, but he's someone we've been linked with massively over the last six months, and when that happens, it normally means there is something there. There is a link in the background between the club and the player, so we'll wait and see. But for me, I just look at his age and think doesn't quite fit what we want at the moment. A player being linked away from Everton is Idrissa Gana Gueye. The link with Man United has once again surfaced. Paris Saint-Germain was obviously a destination we all thought he was going to go to this summer. So far, there's been little talk. In fact, there's been talk of PSG not following up on their interest. But there are reports today in some media that Manchester United are interested in him because they could get him for as little as £30 million. Now, I think if Everton were going to sell Ghana or to have their mind changed over selling Ghana, it wouldn't be for £30 million, not to someone who I think Everton next season will see as a rival. You don't want to sell your best players, and you don't want to sell your best players to a rival. So I think if they wanted Ghana, I think it'd be for a lot more than £30 million. I think it's up to Everton now to persuade the player to set his heart on staying. Of course, they can keep him at the club, but it's whether they can really nail him down to want to really have him at the club. Maybe that would be a new contract that would do that. Really secure him for the next 3 or 4 years. I mean, he is 30, so the club might see it differently, but the links are there with Man United today. Listen, he's a top player. He finished the season brilliantly, so there's no surprise that he's getting linked with other clubs, whether it be a real link or just a newspaper link. But he is a top player, so I've got no problem with that. And finally today, a player that we've been linked with for the last couple of weeks is Sosa, the young Argentinian. Is he 20-year-old? Apparently he is being touted for £13 million. He's someone that I haven't watched in the South America under-20s championships, which is a really big thing. You know, there's so much talent comes through that tournament. Some of the biggest names that have come out of South America have been discovered by European clubs at the under-20s tournament. He was in the team of the tournament. Everton apparently have been watching him, but have got no plans yet to go for him. It would be very doubtful he would get a work permit anyway, but he's someone that Everton have obviously seen. They like the look of, but with only half a dozen performances in the first team so far, Everton have no plans just yet to go in for the player, apparently, according to report, as always. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Looks a talent, but Everton, I think Marcel Brands has said this before about young players. You might as well leave them where they are, develop a little bit, but just keep an eye on them. And when the right time is to go in, because you know you can offer them first team football or a development path, that's when you get them. I think Marcel Brands said this about some PSV players, that he really liked them, but he just wouldn't want them now, because you'd be stopping them from becoming top players by... You'd stop in the development. You can't give them a first team place because they're not good enough. You know they've got potential, but you're going to have to wait for that potential to bloom. And then if it does, then go back in for them. And I think this is something a lot of clubs have had a problem with in the last couple of years, last 3 or 4 years, is going for talent too early, getting it to the club, and then not knowing what to actually do with it. You're bringing them in just because you want to beat everyone else to them, but then how do you develop them? Chelsea have had this problem massively. They brought players in and then have sent them out on loan. Man City have had a couple of problems with this as well, where they've brought players in. You know, look at someone like Sancho's at Dortmund at the moment. He's a player who, you know, couldn't find a way and had to go to Germany. So he's a player Everton, I'm sure, will keep an eye on for the time being. We'll see where that goes, and maybe by establishing a link there early. The player, I think, spoke about it this week himself, that he knew of Everton's interest, but he didn't know what was happening. But if he thinks that Everton are interested and Everton are keeping in touch and making that known, that maybe when the time is right, the player will favour Everton because he knows they've always had an interest and his interests at heart. So we'll wait and see where that goes. Apart from that, there's very, 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 very little else happening anywhere in football today. There's just terrible links between Pep Guardiola and Juventus, loads of made up stuff, loads of nonsense out there. There you have it. If you're on Patreon, make sure to check out our exclusive videos. We've just done an exclusive live show for Patreon. Make sure to check that out if you're not on Patreon already and you haven't seen the live videos that we do Monday to Thursday. Make sure to check them out. Our season reviews are coming out. There's still 3 more videos to come. There might even be more as we break down last season. We've got nothing else to do. We might as well just do that. If you haven't given this video a like, please do. It helps the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because that helps the channel. And I'll see you later.